Europe has a lot of international trains, easily taking you across borders in just a few minutes. However, this border is different, as it is closed to all passenger trains and has been for over 10 years. But today I'm going to be taking a Hungarian luxury train across this very railway line, showing you what it's like to travel on the Continental Classic Express. I'll be enjoying multiple meals on board and exploring the great facilities on these retro carriages while travelling through Bosnia's mountains. So join me as we catch a train to Sarajevo. Thanks to Continental Railway Solution, the operator of this train, for providing me with a ticket for this trip. Hello and welcome back to another video, and today it's a very special journey. I'm at Budapest Keleti station in Hungary, and I'm going to be travelling with the Continental Classic Express down to Sarajevo in Bosnia. I'm booked into the Pullman First class for this journey, so I'm really looking forward to the onboard experience and travelling to a country that doesn't normally get a rail service. Let's go! Good morning from the incredible Budapest Keleti station, truly one of the most spectacular railway stations anywhere in the world. This eclecticist construction first opened its doors to passengers all the way back in 1884 and nowadays remains one of the Hungarian capital's three main stations. Its name, Budapest Keleti pályaudvar, literally means Eastern Station, reflecting its position as the city's easternmost terminal, but also the fact its original purpose was to serve destinations east of Budapest. It really is a stunning construction, and we've been blessed with an equally impressive sunrise to enjoy it under. But this video is about the incredible train journey ahead, so let's waste no more time and head inside. Most of the trains here at this hour are just regular commuter trains, preparing for the morning rush hour, such as this modern double-deck Stadler train. You can also find some of Budapest's overnight sleeper trains arriving. This one here is the Dacia from Bucharest. And by the way, most of the station's facilities are closed at this early hour, but rest assured there are plenty of shops and food outlets for regular passengers. So, my train today is the 0530 Különvonat, or special train, to Sarajevo, departing from platform 12. And here it is, the iconic Continental Classic Express, a premium charter train that aims to emulate the experience of 1960s luxury travel. This 5-carriage train consists of 3 passenger carriages, a dining car and a bar lounge car. I can't wait to show you all around this exciting train on the 14-hour ride to Sarajevo. But before we board, we first must check in with the staff.
Good morning. Okay, this is your seat in Pullman First car.
After a personal welcome from one of the company's founders, my name was checked off the passenger list. Next up, the staff are on hand to assist with any luggage, as well as to show me to my seat. I'll be sitting in the rear carriage, in seat 25. This is a seat at a table for 2, but I'll have the table for myself for this journey. Today's route starts off with us making a few stops in Hungary and going into Croatia, before reaching the closed border crossing at Samac. We'll then take a stunning scenic ride through Bosnia to its capital city, Sarajevo. Journey time is scheduled to be 14 hours and 25 minutes, covering 621 kilometres or about 386 miles. We depart on time at 0530, beginning our all-day luxury train ride into the Balkans. Pulling out beside us is the intercity train to Budapest. That's right, this train takes a 6-hour loop around the entire country, only to end up back in Budapest. Our journey out of the city sees us winding through various stations, such as Ferencváros. And not long later, we make another stop at Kelenföld, another district in Budapest, where we spend a few minutes to collect some additional passengers. With this stop complete, a member of the excellent onboard service staff comes along taking any orders for tea or coffee. I of course choose a cup of English breakfast tea with a caramel cinnamon biscuit, served in this elegantly branded mug. Just after this, a welcome drink in the form of sparkling wine from Hungary's Tokaj region. Cheers! Breakfast will soon be served, with a selection of choices available. But first, let's take a look around the interior. The seat layout here in Pullman First, and indeed all carriages, is 2+1. This interior is beautifully retro, with these carriages dating back to the 1960s, though I found everything to be kept in excellent condition. Seats themselves are brown with a golden metal frame. These were really comfortable, with excellent sprung cushions and a good shape. I certainly had no complaints with these seats after over 14 hours. Up top, there's a winged headrest, perfect for resting and enjoying the passing scenery. To the sides, you can find the large fixed armrests, which are also generously padded. Down here is the control for the seat's recline, affording a good amount of recline, making the seat great for lounging. As a tourist-oriented train, there is plenty of space for luggage. Smaller, lighter items can go above, while heavy items can be put in the large space between seats. You'll also find plenty of coat hooks betwixt the windows. And above this, controls for your area's lighting. Mine was set to dim. All windows have a set of blackout curtains, though if you don't want to totally block out the view, then a sunblind is present too. But of course, most importantly, for getting those perfect scenery pictures, all windows can be fully opened like this. Anyway, back outside, we're coming to a stop at Sarajevo. This isn't one of our scheduled stops, but despite being an important main line in Hungary, the route to Pécs is single track. This means that we have to wait for oncoming trains to pass before continuing. But not to worry, as breakfast is now being served. All menus are in Hungarian only, though staff were on hand to assist with translations. I went for the fit breakfast, consisting of a muesli and berry yogurt with a croissant. This was also served alongside some berry muffins. The yogurt was excellent and well presented. The warm, freshly baked croissant followed a few minutes later. Overall, a nice breakfast. By now, the sun has come out, resulting in a picturesque ride through the gentle rolling hills of the Tolna county. This is one of Hungary's least populous counties, and even has one of the lowest population densities in the country too. We are now passing through the small village of Szakai, home to a beautiful Catholic church, seen here. After a few more halts en route to await passing trains, we pass through Szent Lőrinc. This is a quintessential Hungarian railway scene, with a large station building, a simple low-floor platform, and a member of staff in a red hat keeping watch. I love it. And it's not long before we're on the approach to Pécs. This is the 5th largest city in Hungary, and is steeped in history dating back as far as the Roman Empire, when it was founded around 1,900 years ago. The railway reached the city in 1868, with a line to the nearby border town of Bács, but the present-day station opened in 1900. Pécs is the first rest stop on our journey, which we are currently 4 hours into. Now we've got some exciting border crossings coming up on today's ride, but before we change country, we first must change locomotive. The railway down to Croatia is unelectrified, so a diesel locomotive is necessary. And here's something pretty cool. This is a Czech locomotive operated by a Polish company running from Hungary to Croatia. Talk about a connected railway. The journey down to the Croatian border is short, taking around 1 hour from now. Ordinarily, this route gets just a few trains per day, consisting of tiny one-carriage rail buses like this one. The region is known for its wine production, being Hungary's largest producer of red wines. Vast vineyards surround the town of Villani, the centre of the industry. Croatia is a recent signatory to the Schengen Agreement, resulting in an open border to Hungary. Until just a few years ago, we would have needed to make another stop here for exit checks. But today, it's easy to forget that you've even changed country. Beli Manastir is our next stop, and again, we will be changing locomotive here. I decided to once again stretch my legs, as it will be a while before the next opportunity. The current pair of diesel locomotives come off the train, and wow, that's a lot of smoke. Our next locomotive is a Hrvatske Željeznice Series 2044, a distinctly American-looking design built under license in what was then Yugoslavia. Before long, we're crossing the river Drava and entering Croatia's fourth largest city, Osijek. Croatia's railway network is very poor. This tiny station is one of the biggest in the country, but sees just 3 poorly timed services to the capital each day. Just after Osijek, our table is set, ready for the 4-course lunch of traditional Hungarian cuisine. By the way, here in Pullman First, you have access to unlimited bottles of water, which are of course served chilled. A greater selection of soft drinks and alcoholic beverages are available on request, and the staff were proactive offering refills. For a starter, we were served fűszervaj rózsa. This is herb-infused butter alongside some bread, followed by some Hungarian vegetable soup. And midway through our tasty lunch, we finally arrive at the Croatian border control point. This is the town of Slavonski Šamac, where we'll be spending quite some time. Things down in the Balkans never really happen in a rush, and there's even time to finish lunch before the border guard arrives. For the main course, I chose a marinated tofu salad with balsamic vinegar dressing, and it was very good. But the highlight of the meal has to be the peach and passion fruit cheesecake, which was divine. I've left a full menu translated into English on screen now. After nearly an hour and a half at the border, we finally get moving again. The railways between Bosnia and its neighbouring countries are not used for passenger trains anymore, except a few times per year to the Croatian coastline. The official webpage for international trains features just a single word on the matter: soon. The last regular passenger service from Zagreb to Bosnia operated in 2016, with just a couple of carriages making the journey, while the last train to run from Budapest to Bosnia using the border crossing that we are today is believed to have ceased way back in 2012. The border to Bosnia and Herzegovina is defined by the Sava River, and after crossing it, we're subject to another border check to enter the country. It's my first time in the country, and safe to say I am looking forward to the upcoming mountain scenery. However, the state of railway infrastructure in Bosnia and Herzegovina is very poor. There are tragically low speed limits, and much of the track is in disrepair. Even many previously active lines have been reclaimed by nature, resulting in the amusing yet sad sight of the electrified bushes you see here. Anyway, Pullman First isn't the only carriage on this train, so let's go and take a look around. Just through here is the Continental dining car, a beautiful 1960s carriage that formerly plied its trade on the famous Trans-Europe Express network, or TEE. Any passengers not travelling in Pullman First are able to order freshly cooked meals, as well as both hot and cold drinks for consumption in this elegant and well looked after carriage. Moving further forward, we reach the Adria Bar and Lounge, the most recent addition to the Continental Classic Express. This is intended as a pleasant place to relax and enjoy the vibe while meeting fellow travellers, all to the backdrop of a chilled music playlist. The bar serves a few typical bar snacks, and most importantly, a wide selection of beers, wines and spirits. Something I didn't notice until later was how these tables actually resemble railway buffers. It's a nice touch. Through here is the Pullman class carriage, also in a 2+1 layout around tables of 2 or 4. Finally, Pullman Tourist class, the cheapest option. This had actually been upgraded on this trip, resulting in the same spacious 2+1 layout here too. And of course, at the very front of the train, we can peek through to get a view of the locomotive bouncing away on the knackered Bosnian tracks. The next major city we reach is Doboj, which serves as a divider between Bosnia and Herzegovina's two railway networks. Now, I'm not going to delve too deep into this country's checkered history, but Bosnia and Herzegovina is formed of two distinct political entities, the Republika Srpska and the Federacija Bosnie i Herzegovine. Both of these have their own railway company, each with its own tracks, staff, locomotives and carriages. Doboj serves as the boundary zone for the two railways, with no trains going beyond the station from their respective sides. This means that we have to change locomotive here. Our ZRS 441 locomotive comes off, with this electric loco dating back to the Yugoslav era. It is then replaced by a near identical ZFBH 441, which will haul the train to Sarajevo. After we're all coupled up, it's time for the final stretch of the journey, which is in my opinion the best part. Only 10 minutes out of Doboj, the scenery picks up dramatically, with the winding river and mountains quickly making their presence known. The remainder of our journey is spent in the Bosna River Valley, our train peacefully winding amongst mountains on its way down to the capital. Bosnia and Herzegovina is a Muslim-majority country, and therefore it's not uncommon to see the minaret towers of local mosques dotting the surrounding hills. The country's culture was heavily influenced by its long period under Ottoman Empire rule. One such result of this is that Turkish-style tea is now a common drink in the country. So with the staff kindly offering this, I had to give it a try.
Would you like a Turkish tea?
Yes, please. It's rare for this country to get any special trains, and so many of the station staff can be seen taking videos of this unusual occurrence. The lighting this evening is making the journey even more spectacular, with the sun's rays reflecting off the shiny rails and the cloudy mountains providing an excellent backdrop for travelling through rural Bosnia and Herzegovina. I mentioned earlier that the railway infrastructure in this country is pretty battered, but I also need to mention the trains themselves. This two-carriage train is one of the country's main long-distance services, and runs with 1960s carriages second-hand from Sweden. As our surroundings begin to look more industrial, the train slows down. This is Zenica, the fourth biggest city in Bosnia and Herzegovina, with a population of around 110,000. As we pull out of the city, all Pullman First passengers are called back to their seats, ready for dinner. The cuisine of the country takes influence from Ottoman and Balkan trends, with tonight's meal appealing heavily to the Ottoman side. On offer this evening, tortellini with shakshuka and a baklava selection for dessert. Now all that's left to do is sit back and enjoy the passing scenery over a glass of Hungarian wine. Both white and rosé options were available, and I opted for the rosé. The evening meal soon arrived. This pasta dish was served alongside shakshuka, which is a mix of lightly spiced vegetables in a tomato sauce, with herbs and spices too. Then once I had finished my main, the staff quickly brought me the trio of baklava for dessert, a typical sweet treat in the region. And as dinner comes to a close, we pass through Visoko. This was formerly Bosnia's capital city in the Middle Ages, but now is just a town of 39,000 inhabitants. Visoko is also home to Visočica Hill, some believing this is a man-made pyramid, a theory largely dismissed by the scientific community. The town is just 31 kilometres away from Sarajevo, so it doesn't take long before we reach the big city's suburbs. Sarajevo is situated in a valley, making it quite compact, and requiring any expansion of the city to follow the course of the Miljacka River. But now let's talk about how much this journey costs. The return trip in Pullman First sells for 399,000 Hungarian forint. However, this does also include 3 nights accommodation in a historically significant and comfortable 4-star hotel, multiple meals both on and off the train, and 2 days of railway related excursions along some of the most beautiful railways in the Balkans. One of which will be featured in next week's video. And I think this is a fair price to pay for such a special opportunity. As we cover the last few kilometres of track on this mammoth journey, we pass one of Bosnia and Herzegovina's modern Talgo trains. With a delay of just under half an hour, we arrive into Sarajevo at 20:23. Not a bad delay by local standards. Once again, I'd like to say a big thanks to Continental Railway Solution for inviting me on this incredible trip. You can find a link to their website in the description with all the information about their exciting upcoming tours within. As always, thanks for watching, and if you want to see what it's like to travel on a regular, much less luxurious train in the region, then click up here now to see my video on the Sofia to Bucharest train.